And after you've done all that, where are these job opportunities, and how do you get in the competitive advantage with this information to get to, these job opportunities?
Well, again, breaking organization ties. I talk about it's good for an individual to understand what are your skills and your abilities. So that's really one of the first keystone things. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? There. One example I give is, we live in terms of one of the trends is that you have a very demographic changes taking place in America. You have a lot of Latinos, a lot of Asians coming to America for opportunities. So I would say learning a new language. Mm-hmm. There's a joke that if you speak 3 languages, you're trilingual. You speak 2 languages, you're bilingual. If you speak 1 language, you're American. So in having skills, I know right now in terms of being affiliated with the federal government that if you learn an Asian language, Arabic language, you have a good chance to get a good job. Also going where other places people don't want to go. I hear a lot of people when I talk to about jobs, I mention going to North Dakota, going to Alaska. Mm-hmm. No, most people don't want to hear that. They want to hear about hot Atlanta. They want to go to LA, Chicago, where all the vibes at.
Typical big places.
And what you want to do is, in terms of finding a job, is you want to show separation. You want to show how you are unique and how you're different. And in breaking organization ties, it gives individuals that ability. One of the things I want to mention is, what if you're in a job, you're working at, I want to pick on Mickey D's, because people eat at Mickey D's, or Burger King. You're in a situation and you're flipping burgers. But maybe one of these days, but what you want to really do is to get into accounting. So maybe you volunteer at the American Red Cross or the Salvation Army, you volunteer that skill. Mm-hmm. I have seen it even in my life in terms of being an engineer and being able to teach business, mm-hmm. is that when I first started, I volunteered my services at Knoxville College. In other colleges, there are tons of opportunities. Going to a church, if you want to be a teacher, going to a mosque, or different avenues, there are tons of opportunities. People want to volunteer because people look at the short term of life. They say, well, I'm not getting paid. Dealing with young people, they feel, I'm not getting paid, so I don't want to do it. But if you have a long-term view, you see how, well, if I volunteer right now, even if I'm flipping burgers at Burger King, that I'm building a skill that I have, and it can go in your transcript. That's nothing to say that you can't put your voluntary work on your transcript in terms of building those abilities and skills.
And after all this volunteering, how does one find their ideal job?
Again, that goes back to what we talk about in breaking organization ties is you have to understand what your vocation is. I personally believe that God has a destiny for each one of us. I say we don't spend enough time in saying what I really enjoy. And this is one of the things I encourage when I talk to my clients, is that think about the time when you were doing something and you really felt good about what you were doing and you felt that you were adding value. And I believe personally that's how you find your job, when your passion and your abilities intersect. Mm-hmm. You found your ideal job, and you'll know when it's your ideal job. Again, because we live in a very difficult world in terms of the economy, a lot of us have to have, I call it a tent maker a job, or a job where we're paying bills from A to B. But I subscribe to, in order to keep hope, that you have to have that vocational job, that ideal job that you're working toward, and that'll keep you going. Even when the boss is treating you terribly, even when you're in a situation where you're working 14-hour days, you got kids you're worrying about, but if you have that hope that you can go forward even in a hostile environment, mm-hmm. in manners that don't support your ideas and your values.
What would you tell someone if they came to you and said they were dissatisfied with their job, mm-hmm. they were dissatisfied with their boss, they didn't know how to cope mm-hmm. with that situation anymore? What would you tell them as they're still trying to build themselves up? Mm-hmm. Otherwise,
Well, first of all, I run into, even in my workplace, you have people, I think 2 or 3 different type of people. You have the individuals that are very negative. Every situation that happens to them is negative. You have those individuals that pretty much go with the flow. Then you have those individuals that take charge of their life. In terms of we call having a internal locus of control. So I would talk to that individual. I said, what do you like about your job? What do you like? What can you do in order to make that situation better? And try to find out what they can do, because the only individual that you can really control in your life. A lot of people say I control my husband, I control my girlfriend or boyfriend, but the only individual you really control is yourself. And so I would say, what can you do to change your situation? Well, I can't change anything, but a lot of these things go to, as you can see, I'm a lifetime learner. I believe there's growth. If you can be in a situation, I've been in jobs that I didn't really like. Bosses really didn't do me all that well, but I found an avenue, I found a corner in that workplace that I could grow. Whether reading a book or watching a video at work to enhance myself, I think that individual can find a growth area. And again, if they can put it down on paper, this is my goal this year. I want to do that. A lot of times, we don't like to talk about that, but sometimes you have to let negativism go. If you're surrounded with people that are very negative, I hate my job, I hate my employer. Sometimes, in order for us to break forward, sometimes we have to wave at those individuals, they're still in your circle, but sometimes we have to move away from negativism, because there are people that, you ask them, how's your day today? They'll say, I hate it. And they'll say that every day. And so they say, like minds, bird and feather sticks together. Sometimes we have to move to where we want to really get to. And I think that's important that we do that.
Besides the job market being the way it is these days, in this economy, how would you suggest, for individuals to develop their own marketable skills with everything else around them not being so stable? What would be some smart decisions and steps for people to take?
Well, in the book Breaking Organization Ties, I have created what we call a skills matrix. So basically, what I would say for the individuals to list down all the tasks, all the skills and abilities and gifts that they have. List them down there. And then I would go and have a second column is, how have you demonstrated those abilities? Maybe on your job, volunteering, to get a real good skills assessment. Now, I wouldn't stop there. I would go talk to somebody that you respect, a close friend. I would ask them, what do you think my skills and abilities are? Because sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. So I would ask them to do an assessment on me. Tell me, what do you think my strengths and weaknesses are? Then I would go to maybe a coworker. And if I'm real bold, I would ask my supervisor. I would sit down, what do you think my abilities and my skills are? So that what you're doing is you're putting together a skill mix that you have. And you're able to, you say, well, this is the strength and this is the weakness. It gives you a way to set a goal. Well, in this area, I don't want to really improve. This area, I think I can improve better. And one of the things you may want to do is, out of all the skills, out the assessment that I've done, what of those skills are most attractive in the workplace, in the current work environment? Because really about getting a job is about value creation. You have to create something unique or something valuable where an employer would say, I really need you to be a part of my team. And I think that's what most people lack. It's all about them. But really about getting employment is really about the employer, it's really about others. It's not about that particular individual.
Okay. Breaking Organizational Ties could be found online and in several other bookstores, and it provides practical strategies for employees attempting to cope in their jobs or environments which they hate. While most managers are concerned with bottom line, they leave their employees vulnerable to casualties of competitive markets. This book will enable you to read and learn how to survive and even enjoy your time at work, even in hostile environment, and gain greater confidence in your ability to grow while in a downsizing organization. Also, and lastly, discover the insight to go beyond your limitations by breaking the barriers of your self-doubt. Dr. Green, thank you very much.
It was a
Very
pleasure.
insightful.
Thank you so much.